So, unless you live under a rock, you should know the news that happened today. Today is December 31st, the first Monday after the season's over. A lot of people like to call this Black Monday, and that case is because a lot of coaches are being fired. A lot of stuff is just going on the day after the season's over.
Miami has the Dolphins, the greatest football team.
So yeah, Adam Gase is now fired. He's no longer the head coach of the Dolphins. That being said, neither will, I believe, Matt Berg and Loggins, whatever, the offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator. I don't think those guys are coming back. I think a lot of people are just getting later, son. Chris Greer was the general manager, and I think he's still going to be the general manager, and he's going to be vice president of football operations, which was Mike Tannenbaum's job before. They mistaken. They never fired Mike Tannenbaum, so that was fake news. But the case with Mike Tannenbaum is that he is at a lower position than what he was before, and Chris Greer will be reporting to Stephen Ross every single day. That's what they said in the press conference, blah, blah, blah. So that leaves a lot of questions, like what are the Dolphins going to do, this, that. There's a lot of questions. So what can we do moving forward, head coach-wise, offensive coordinator-wise, defensive coordinator, or just have a defensive-minded coach, offensive-minded coach? Well, we just recently, our past two head coaches have been offensive-minded coaches, Joe Philbin and Adam Gase. That hasn't worked out very best for us. I mean, there's other teams that have success under that. For example, Andy Reid, Matt Nagy. Who else? I think Doug Peterson's a pretty offensive guy. I mean, it happens. I really would like to see the Dolphins go defensive-minded coach. So on this paper right here, I have green signifying like good choices, people that I recommend. And this is just a short list that I made, like off the fly. Orange, I have another green here, but orange means that, and they're in the mix, but I don't really think so much. I have green again and orange again, and I used to have a green here, but it fell off. And then pink is possibilities, like college head coaches. Really, there's 3 college head coaches I have listed under the pink one. So let me just go with the green ones. If you don't know, the Harbaugh brothers, Jim and John, either one of them, honestly. John is currently with the Baltimore Ravens, and I think he's going to stay most likely. I mean, they were doing whatever, and then they ended up making it to the playoffs. But there's some rumors, there's always going to be rumors, anything, that the Dolphins are the front runner for being, if John Harbaugh was to be traded away. That's pretty much the only way I think the Dolphins could get him as a head coach, but very unlikely, but great choice. And following him is his brother Jim Harbaugh. He's a University of Michigan's head coach, and he's again in between that orange and green one for me, but green most definitely just because of how great of a coach he is. So Michigan has had some success this year. They almost won the Big Ten, and they lost pretty bad to UF. So in the most recent bowl game. So I mean, that you can take that into consideration. That being said, though, he's had some success with the program. I'm pretty sure he wants to do even better with the program before he even thinks about leaving. So that's very unlikely. But our owner, Stephen Ross, he went to University of Michigan. He's a big fan of University of Michigan football, obviously. So there's one of two ways it could be. Either he doesn't want to take away the head coach of his college football team, or he wants to bring that guy over here. Most likely he wants to bring the guy. It's whatever. This guy, he's kind of in between my green and orange, but I'll put him a little bit after when it'll make more sense. But let me go back to the green guys. So I also have Rex Ryan. He was building a coaching staff or whatever, like possible coaching staff for the University of Miami or the Miami Dolphins. That because Manny Diaz took the University of Miami job after 2 weeks after he committed to being the Temple head coach. And then, so the whole thing with Mark Wright, he retired, and then Manny Diaz takes over. And also, my cousin Matt, when I do the game picks with, he told me, I mean, he really likes Rex Ryan. It's shown he had a heavily defensive-minded team heading into those two AFC Championship games that the Jets went to under Rex Ryan. So, I mean, there's some possibility there. Next, we have Brian Flores, the defensive coordinator for the New England Patriots. He's also interviewing for the Green Bay job. He's one of those guys that's in between, but definitely, I mean, Green Bay, the Patriots defense hasn't shown me too much this year for me to like the defensive coordinator, but I mean, it's the same thing for the Dolphins. I mean, the Dolphins have had a great defense. I might also include some people I want as like an offensive and a defensive coordinator, but most likely I already have a defensive coordinator for sure in mind if he doesn't get picked up by any other team. Let's see. Now, some other green choices I have is Vic Fangio. I don't know if I said his name right, but he's a Bears defensive coordinator. He's under my green list. Vance Joseph, he's an ex-defensive coordinator for the Dolphins. And then he's the ex-Broncos head coach. He just got fired, I think, today or last night. And also, Chuck Pagano. He's the ex-Colts head coach. Very good guy. I think he's being interviewed for the Green Bay job. Let's see. Now, let's go back to where we can go to the orange, greenish orange. First, to top off my greenish orange list is Dan Campbell. He's being interviewed for the Green Bay and the Cleveland job. But he could have a chance here at the Dolphins too, maybe. He had his first go as a head coach under the Dolphins. He did decent. I really liked him. I was hoping we would keep him. I mean, very funny story. The day Adam Gase came in for an interview, Dan Campbell was in the parking lot sharpening an axe. I mean, what's going on in that guy's head, you know? But following him, I have Josh McDaniels. He's the offensive coordinator at New England. He's unlikely to me. I just don't think he would lead the Patriots to be the head coach of the Dolphins. I don't know. I don't see it. But it's very intriguing for him if he has some distaste towards the Patriots, towards Belichick, towards Brady, blah, blah, blah. Then maybe. But I rather would have a defensive-minded coach. I think those are all the guys that the Dolphins are calling after, like defensive-minded. Following him, I have Mike McCarthy, and I just put no. I don't want Mike McCarthy, honestly. But he's whatever. And Jim Caldwell, he's he didn't really prove much to me when I saw him as a head coach. And now we finally got to the pink guys, and these are 3 college coaches that are a big possibility, but first I have Urban Meyers out of Ohio State, but I'm unsure about him because I think he retired. He's stepping away from football, so very unlikely. Then I have Lincoln Riley out of Oklahoma University. There's some ties with him and Cleveland, maybe just because of Baker Mayfield, but we gotta see about that. And last from the college list is David Shaw. He's a Stanford head coach. I don't know too much about him, but I've heard about his name, and those are some names I saw like on Twitter and stuff like that. So those are mainly some names I have here written down. So some teams that have head coach openings are obviously the Dolphins, the New York Jets, the Cleveland Browns, the Arizona Cardinals, the Green Bay Packers, the Cincinnati Bengals, the Denver Broncos, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8. That is 132, 116. I think that's, it's 1/16 of the league. So that's 2 divisions worth of football that are looking for a head coach. Tough. There's a lot of options out there. None really bad options, but none really great options either. But definitely, in my head at least, I think Adam Gase would be one of the top head coach options, or at least top offensive coordinator options. And since we're talking about some coordinators, for a defensive coordinator, one that tops my list is Greg Williams. Greg Williams, if you do not know who he is He's the interim head coach for the Cleveland Browns. He was their defensive coordinator before. And if you did not see what the Cleveland Browns did, they were one of the best defensive teams. I think they were third overall in turnovers. I mean, I remember at the beginning of the season, it was us, the Bears, and them, like really just going at it on turnovers and stuff like that. But definitely, Cleveland, Greg Williams, him as a defensive coordinator, I would love to see him because I feel like he really inspires his defensive players and stuff like that. Also, if the audio is not that good, I'm sorry. I don't have very great options when it comes to the places I'm in to record these videos for the next couple of days. So sorry about that. But that is all I have for you guys. I will have the playoff picks of me and Matt coming soon. I'm pretty sure I'm just gonna be the one talking to you guys about the game picks, and Matt will tell me who he wants and stuff he wants me to mention for him. But that's all I have for you guys today. Hopefully the Dolphins can find the right head coach. I don't know. I wasn't too against them firing Gase, but I wasn't too much for it either. It was kind of in between. Very unlucky season with all the injuries we had this year. Given that, though, I mean, it seemed pretty good given what has happened, but it wasn't enough for Stephen Ross. It wasn't enough for a lot of Miami fans. It wasn't enough for me either, but I'm kind of one of those people that will be in between because I kind of liked what we had with Gase, but I didn't like the road we were currently going down. So that was where I was at. That was my position. That was where I was stuck at. But stop babbling on and just end this video. Enjoy your New Year's. Today's the 31st, so tonight at midnight it'll be 2019. So be with some loved ones. Enjoy your night and be safe.
Miami has the Dolphins,